Hi, good evening. My name is David, and tonight we are playing another session of Fight with Spirit. Fight with Spirit is a game by V and Haley of Storybrewers Games, Storybrewers Role Playing. It is kind of an extension, as it were, of Good Society, except rather than concerning itself with the Regency era romance, it is all about sports drama. This game is being run using the quick start version of the rules. The only slight tweak being that we're playing it in a 1920s boys' school. Concerning ourselves with their cricket team. So that's what we're doing tonight. This game was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing group. We get together and play games much like this one. We have a calendar where you can sign up for slots in these games. We also have a gaming magazine called Codex. We have a number of podcasts. You can find information about all that stuff at www.gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll put a link to that, and also to where you can find more information about this game down below. So where we left things, last time we played, we had our first match, which was the semi-finals in our little tournament, which our team were able to win quite handily, in fact. So we will be dropping back in today with the kind of day-to-day life stuff. We'll go through some of those as we have a new phase this time around that we haven't played with yet. So we'll see how that shakes out. Cool. So without any further ado, I will ask everyone to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about their character and what they got up to last time, and then we'll get into things. So Stephen, if you'd like to start us off.
Yeah, hey there. I am Stephen, he, him, and I am playing Aiden Chambers, he, they, who I is the team captain, has decided to take a more distant role with the rest of the team, like being the captain first and people's friends slash love interest second. And yeah, I'm sorry, Maria. This is explicitly to make Lawrence's life difficult. And yeah, I think at the end of last session, we also saw Lawrence making the bad boy turn. I think probably like not like a leather jacket. Sorry, not Lawrence, Aiden making the bad boy turn. Not the leather jacket. I think that's still not Aiden enough, but like a really dark colored tweed jacket probably is probably Aiden's look. So yeah.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And yeah, Maria, if you'd like to tell us a bit about who you're playing tonight.
Hi, I'm Maria. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Lawrence. Uses he, him pronouns. He is the younger twin brother by a few minutes of Lewis. Lawrence quit the cricket team at St. Osana's for a little while, was thrown off his game by just how many attractive people there are on the team. And Lawrence, who apparently is some sort of like reluctant cricket prodigy, according to his brother, thought that, well, if I can't play at my best because everyone, it's too nerve-wracking when everyone is around me, I will just not play at all and go hang out with my other friends and listen to jazz all the time. But then Lewis came back and Lawrence kind of like felt guilty enough to start playing on the team again. Lawrence at this point has like a huge lump on one of his legs from distracted practice and then dramatic try to win the match game thing. Lawrence wanted to win our last game for Aiden, who seemed really distressed on the pitch at the very beginning and was all about to congratulate Aiden with some contraband sherry. And Aiden was like, no, I have to be stern and broody and not have friends. And now Lawrence is distressed and probably listening to like emotional support jazz somewhere else in the dormitory. But yeah, and I think he's last time we kind of accomplished my trait, which is restore a friendship with your teammate or form a new bond in the team, which was both with Lewis, who was kind of, we had this bonding moment while playing cricket. We had a moment of goofing off and finding the joy in our sport, which was good.
Awesome, thank you very much. And yeah, last but not least, Brandon, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us about who you're playing tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, I'm Brandon He. I'm playing Lewis Gregory. Also, he Lawrence's older twin, who was at the rival and somewhat tonier school, Shipton Academy, and who came back to Saint Osana in order to be with Lawrence and help him realize his potential, both on and off the pitch, to shake him loose of the emotional maelstrom that he got in and get him to commit to something, whether it was cricket, which Lawrence has a great talent at, or something else. Last time that we saw them, as you know, Lawrence said, the two of them shared a moment of sibling consonance when they were both up at bat, and Lawrence hit the opposing bowler for 6, which made Lewis very happy. Lewis also got propositioned by Aiden and reacted reflexively with surprise because he had no idea that he was that anyone was interested in him that way, and apologized for it afterwards. But either damage done or good effect done, depending upon how you choose to view that. He's so his major investments, as I said, is to get Lawrence to commit to something, to something that he truly wants, that's actually going to motivate him outside of school, and to prove to his ex-mate Freddie that he was right to come back to Saint Osana's, and that's what it is. The other bit is that Lewis is a talented pianist who has been mostly trained in the classical vein under the tutelage of Miss Madeline Thompson, who wants him to go to conservatory, and he is absolutely not sure that he wants to do that, but hasn't figured out anything better.
Awesome, thank you very much. So we will be leaping in back into the swing of things today. We'll be starting out today with our opening credits scene again. So this will just be we'll be doing some short vignettes just to give us a view of what's coming up in the session, as it were. So I think to start off with, I will introduce our opening scenes for our opening visuals, I suppose, for our credits. So I think today we will start off our opening credits with a long shot of the Shipton Academy, which is a fine Georgian building in one of the nearby towns. It's got some colonnades and the like outside of it. We see the pupils kind of going around, walking around in their uniforms. It's a quite nice sunny day, but as we pan in, we kind of go through into the hallway where we see like a trophy cabinet with numerous trophies arrayed inside it, several of them from the cricket league from recent years, and we will move to a shot of the Shipton team out practicing on their playing fields. We'll see amongst them Penwick and Freddie amongst them, as they're all sort of practicing for the upcoming final match, and then we'll kind of come back for a view of Saint Osana's, where we'll see again the Saint Osana's team out practicing on the field, and staring down at them from the window in the upper floor of the school. We see the headmaster in his black robes and mortarboard, staring out, a mysterious expression on his face. Awesome. So what we'll be doing next is I will be asking you for a couple of different snapshot vignette type scenes, just of your characters doing up to certain things. I will try not to repeat the ones from last time we did this, but it's also been a couple of weeks, so I may well have forgotten. I think, yeah, I'm going to ask for each of you to give me a snapshot of your character trying something new during practice, and we'll start off with we'll start with you again, Stephen, if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking here. I think that what will be a thing we could do during practice. I think that Aiden is I think that Aiden like I'm just kind of could David or Brandon give me a picture here of what kind of like practice exercises for like and this is during practice, right?
That's right. Yeah.
What do practice exercises for cricket look like?
It tends to be I mean, obviously you will like play just play matches as practice. But yeah, it tends to be more like things like you'll spend some time either like batting in sort of the in the nets, or bowling practice, or combining the two. Obviously, if you've got someone who wants to practice their batting and someone who wants to practice their bowling, they'll, you know, obviously take up that. Or just general kind of, you know, training exercise sort of thing.
Yeah, I like the idea, and let me know if I just like this image here. If Lawrence is okay with this, that Aiden is like putting some pretty nasty spins onto the ball, like off the bounce, and he is just throwing these very hard pitches at Lawrence in practice. Like, I think I'm being much more aggressive in this practice than I usually am.
That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you. And then yeah, Lawrence will segue into yours again, if you'd like to describe a snapshot of you trying something new during practice.
Yeah. Oh, I think mine's gonna be a snapshot from like maybe one of the times when Lawrence is not fielding very hard throws from Aiden. I think this is a little not exactly during a new thing during practice, but I think what we see is Lawrence is helping Cornelius, who is his friend, smuggle, or not really smuggle, but like drag a phonogram onto the practice field, because we had a taste of what it's like to have fun during a game last time. So Lawrence has decided to convince the team manager that what if we had records playing while we practice batting and bowling. So it's just like these two teens like carrying a phonogram. Maybe Cornelius has to, like, Lawrence is like, stand right here so we don't damage the records if a throw goes like awry. And then maybe it's just like a little bit incongruous, like the jazzy happy music, and then these like very hard throws that Lawrence then has to field.
Awesome, thank you very much. And Lewis, if you again would like to describe a snapshot of you trying something new during practice.
Lewis has heard about has heard about an Australian cricketer that has an underhand bowling style, and he is trying that out. It's not very good because he doesn't know what he's doing. But he's he's trying the occasional underhand spinner, and they're mostly duck balls, but he claims he's having fun. Excellent. And then when he gets called on it, he reverts back to regular bowling style.
Awesome. Thank you.
He just mixes in a little underhand one, and the first time it gets the batsman completely by surprise. It's like, what was that? And it's like, ump, no ball, and the ump says it's a legal pitch. Just a very unorthodox one.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
He says, I might sneak one into Shipton. I think I could only manage one, and then afterward that they'd be wise to it.
Cool. So next we will be doing a quick snapshot of just a snapshot of your character in their daily life, just up to something not specifically cricket related, around school or the like. And Lawrence, we'll start off with you this time, if that's okay.
Sure. I think the snapshot we see of Lawrence in his daily life, I think is like, I think running to class slightly late. I think with like the book in one hand as though he was still in the middle of reading the assigned reading while trying to get to class. And maybe if it's okay with Aiden, if Aiden has gone a little bit bad boy, like maybe he like sees from like like from somewhere, like just Aiden, like the coat that is Aiden's like sneaking away somewhere. I don't know. Maybe Aiden still goes to class and isn't that much of a bad boy.
Awesome, thank you.
That feels fine. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
And yeah, Lewis, if we can get a snapshot of you in your daily life as well.
So I think you see Lewis has a is sitting at the piano, and instead of a regular music, he has a regular music score up there, and but then out from the pages of music score, he sneaks out a little hand-drawn chart, and he starts to play it right hand with a few little hesitant left hand bass notes, and it's recognizably Stardust, which is a jazz song that's just come out or something like it. Done kind of slowly, and he keeps looking back at this little melody line that's written on there and scratching his head over some of the chords, trying different things. And then he takes his hands off the keys and looks thoughtful.
Awesome, thank you very much. And Aiden, if you'd like to give us a little snapshot of getting up to daily life as well.
Oh man. I like the idea, just continuing off of Lawrence's thing. That we are like shifting over to, I think, like maybe like the sports shed where the sports equipment is stored. And actually, let me bring up here. I realized I don't have all this open. Yeah, I think that it's like a tasteful thing of like Aiden and Dom lying shirtless beside each other, and Dom lights up a roll and says to Aiden, fancy some muggle or something like that. And Aiden has never smoked before, let alone marijuana, but he coughs a little bit and sure. And I think that's him kind of coughing as he tries to take an inhale is probably where we end that. Yes, I know.
Excellent. Excellent, thank you. So that is our opening credits for this episode. So
jazz cigarette.
Indeed.
All about jazz.
This is we'll now be going to the daily life segment. This is a new segment that we didn't do before. It's as you don't do it in like the first round, essentially. What we'll be doing here is we will you'll have like 2 turns each, essentially, to frame up a scene. One of these scenes that you frame up will be one of the scenes that you frame up will be like a full scene that will play out as normal. One of them will just be a quick vignette. you can obviously choose when you wish to do either of those. These, as ever, can either be initiated by involving your main character or one of your connections, if you so choose. Obviously, as ever, you get to kind of, particularly if you're doing an actual scene, you can invite in whoever else you wish to get involved in it. The options that you have available sort of, you can either take action towards your trait drive, complicate someone else's life, offering them a setback token in the process, show the busyness of life or your daily routine, or explore a practice moment, which is expressly just as a vignette, which is setting up a vignette of or monologue about fear or hope, in motion a vignette or monologue about a difficult question, and packing up a vignette or monologue about changing or failing to change. So those are kind of all the different options that you have available to you.
And where do we look at where, if we want to see that list, where do we look?
That is either in the quick start rules on page 14 under the daily life column,
Okay.
or I believe those are also on the PDF character sheet.
Okay.
So yeah, that's those are kind of those are the broad strokes of different options. If we wish to, oh cool, they're on the character keeper too. I hadn't looked at them, I must admit. If you also wish to we can, if people fancy it, we can kind of set this all of these scenes around a specific event going on, or we can just do them as kind of ad hoc. Either is perfectly fine. We will still be having an event phase as well, and I'll be asking what people fancy doing for that in a little bit, but I'll give you some time to think on that if there's a particular idea for a pivotal event that we want to sort of see people at. But yeah, coming back to the daily life phase, I'm going to ask if anyone has an idea for either an initial vignette involving one of their characters, or a full scene that they'd like to explore.
Yeah, I have an idea for a vignette that I would like to pull in here. Let me just double check that I'm understanding the wording of this correctly. Yeah, I think that the thing I would like to do is complicate someone else's life. I think just to kind of pull this in. I like the idea that maybe Lawrence has come out looking for Aiden after seeing him like cut class earlier. And the vignette moment we see is Lawrence seeing Dom saying goodbye to Aiden, and he pulls Aiden in for this passionate kiss, and then departs, and Lawrence just kind of sees that from a distance. So I'm kind of offering that I'm offering you that complication token, Lawrence.
I accept it. So I will get a fight.
That's
Is
correct.
that
Yep.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, if someone else has an idea, again, either vignette or a full scene, either is cool. You get a chance to do both. Then feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes the most sense first is a talk between the twins. where they have a little bit of time to dig into. Where's it? Where do you think it's happening, Lawrence?
Where should this happen? Has Lewis been practicing piano secretly? I mean, Lewis been practicing jazz piano secretly, or is that something that
Jazz
Lawrence
piano
can know about?
The it's a secret. Lawrence
Okay.
could have overheard him, or Lawrence
Yeah.
could be surprised during the event that's coming up.
Yeah, okay.
Whichever
in
you
that
think,
case-
if you'd rather, if you want to be taken aback.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if Lawrence was surprised by it. So
Okay.
uh
So yeah, he's
yeah,
not
let's-
supposed to. He's not supposed to be practicing this. He's supposed to be.
okay.
He's supposed to be, doing his Chopin and Mozart and Beethoven sonatas.
All those dead people.
Serious music that you can get a proper job at.
What are places that we have at this school? Like where are places people can run into each other or hang out that aren't necessarily dorms or classrooms?
Yeah, there will almost certainly be like a common room in your boarding house, which like,
Right. There's the library.
Yeah.
There is places you're not supposed to be, like the empty, classrooms that aren't being used. Or the gymnasium, when it's empty, or a bit of outside.
Yeah.
Outside grounds. A little turn off the paths between buildings. It's a little clearance and a woody patch. What are some other good ones?
I was like, what gymnasium made me think, what if there's like a weight room or something? A weights room?
There might well be a race room or like a boxing ring.
Yeah. I think maybe let's set it there. Let's pretend Lawrence works out occasionally, or maybe the twins do. I don't know.
We could box.
Oh yeah. All right. The twins are boxing.
Yes. All right. Keep your guard up for God's sake. Keep your guard up for God's sake, Laws.
I didn't know we were doing this seriously. I thought we were just reliving our childhood. I don't know the rules to boxing, or at least I've made all the effort to forget them.
Yes, you do. Keep your hands in front of you, so that your chin isn't wide open.
Is this something you used to do over at Shipton?
Yeah,
that's where you went, right?
Pretty much everyone boxes at Shipton. It's it's one of the off-season sports.
So it should be
indoor sports when it's too cold to go out.
Should we be watching out for a few punches thrown in our direction
during a cricket match? I don't think
so. You never know. Val can't be the only one with propensities for.
Besides which, if you're
violence.
going to try to nubble somebody, you might as well do it with the cricket bat. Much more effective.
I mean, That's something that might get you sent away, though. Whereas a punch, that's something that just gets you a little talking to.
No,
I
that'll get you
imagine.
that'll get you thrown off the field. Val, you remember what happened to Val when he when he got bumped by the by the wicket keeper, and the two of them ended up on the ground, and he just got thrown out.
That was just a little bit of high spirits, I'm sure.
Cricket's a
That's what Val
gentleman's
said
game.
anyway.
Cricket's a gentleman's game, don't you know? Says Lewis.
Oh,
you know,
I know.
putting his nose up in the air and affecting a posh accent that he doesn't have.
Lawrence is going to take that opportunity to just like do a gentle like uppercut. That's what you get for putting your nose up in the air.
Oh, I'll get you for that.
You don't want to mess up your face too much, or my face, our face, I guess.
I was about to say, if we just mess up one of them, at least we'll still have one.
That'll be one way to tell us apart.
Yeah, for a little bit at least. Yes. As long as he's the one with the bruise on his left cheek, not his right.
Maybe a bruise on my left cheek would get me some comforting.
Comforting? What's the matter with you?
Oh,
Lois, you've been sulking. You've been sulking for a week. What's going on?
I have not been sulking. I have been.
You have
deep
been
in
sulking.
thought.
He said, I threw two quick jabs at you. Sulking.
Well, I don't know. You spend so much time with Chambers that you probably wouldn't have noticed it. Well, maybe you would have noticed something. Don't you sense a change in our captain? Things aren't the same as they were before we trounced Hades.
No. Well, he seems to have got serious. I can't say that's a bad thing. Is that what's going on? He's the one? Wait, no, Chambers, really?
What do you mean?
Him.
Really?
He's the one you've been mooning after?
You don't need to sound so. A person can have different types, and maybe Aiden's not the type of person you imagined that your brother could have a.
I'm not that.
For.
I want you, if you're going to be moonstruck after someone, I'd like it to be someone who could possibly care about you back. Besides, it's such a waste of time, Laws. He's not for you, and all you're doing is what a waste. Laws, what do you want in life? I mean, to do. What do you plan to do after you get out of Saint Osana's?
Oh,
if you don't have an idea as to what you want to do, somebody's going to have an idea for you, and you're not going to like it.
Well, I don't know.
That's it. You don't know.
Well, I know that what I feel is not a waste. Maybe if you cared for something other than cricket or plans for the future, you'd see that there's more to life than having serious plans for what anyone does. Live in the moment a little.
The moment is, as far as I can tell, just tearing you asunder. And it's not doing you a bit of good, except to make you mope and sulk and be irritable and hard to live with. And if you don't think I don't care for something other than myself, I don't know who I've been talking to all these years.
Well,
Tell me I'm wrong.
I've changed. Well, clearly I've changed in the time since you went off to Shipton, and maybe you don't know me as well as you think you know me.
What do you want?
What do you want? Twin brother off my case.
Yes, okay, fine. That can be managed. What else? What else? Tell me what you want right now or out of life. Something you can actually get or work towards or something. Anything.
Well,
Honestly, you've got so much talent. You've got more than one talent. And you're not exercising any of them.
Well, I just want to listen to music.
All right.
And
just listen to music? I mean, listening to music's fine, don't get me wrong.
And maybe I'd like to introduce other people to music.
Okay. Well, then, why don't you get serious about it? If that's what you want.
No one particularly at the school pretends that there's any sort of living or future to be made from sharing music that isn't your dreadfully dull classical. One can only take so many Bach lullabies before one goes to sleep.
Those are Brahms, but never mind.
Exactly my point. They all start with. I can't tell them.
Do start with B. Look, you'd be surprised what you can make a living at. But you have to, if that's what you really want, there are things you can do, people you can talk to. Really? Do you want that?
Well, I didn't think about it until I said it, but yes, maybe that's what I want.
Okay. Well, that's something, you know.
And
Aiden's
a whole other story.
Let him go, for God's sakes, Lois. He's not for you. He'll never like you back the way you like him. You know, that's nothing. That's not a patch on him. It's just not going to happen. He's just not interested. And to just ripping yourselves apart over him. There are other fish in the sea, for God's sakes.
How do you know he's not interested in me?
How do I know?
Never asked.
How do I know? Okay, the two reasons. It's like, first off, he's been spending all his time with that Dominic. Excuse me. And second thing, he made a pass at me.
You look like me.
He knew it. He knew it wasn't you. You don't think he can tell us apart? We may look like each other, but we don't act very similar, especially not around him. It caught me by surprise. I told him, hell no. It's rather too sharp a tone, I'm afraid. I apologized afterwards, but damage done.
What's the point of having a twin when they can't even?
They can't what? They can't what? Try to set you up with the wrong person.
I will handle.
He did. Sorry. I think he did you a favor just there. He's, by demonstrating it, he's not interested.
Lewis, you.
I start to push you a little bit. I start to push you a little bit around the ring with my gloves. It's like, Claus, wake up for just a moment. This is, you can't wish something into being. Okay. He's not interested. Okay. Let your bloody heart break and get over him.
I think Lawrence is gonna be ducking under the punches and whatever and try to slip under the ropes so that he escapes the boxing, and it's just like, okay, fine, you can have your say with my career decisions, but my
It's
love
not.
life's a whole other thing.
Look, you're my brother. And forgive me, but I give a rat's about you. I don't know. Fine. If you don't think it's any of my business.
It isn't. Go find your own person to have feelings for. Or is it just you and your piano?
Fine.
Slam the door of the boxing room gym on the way out.
You should give me a setback.
All right. What am I giving? Am I complicating your life?
Yeah, yes, you certainly are.
What's the like narrative thing complication that I am giving you though?
Decide.
Telling
Angry.
you
I'm
that
angry at you.
okay. I mean, but I only have 2 setbacks. What if I want to okay, I'll give you a setback.
You don't think that one was worth a setback? You're walking out on me and slamming the door?
Fine. It's fine. Take a fight.
Okay, and that's the scene.
Oh, I mean, if I just had a thought, if there's someone that Lewis was like possibly had feelings for, someone, if they like overheard the yelling or if someone else overheard the yelling, that would be fun. I don't know who it would be though. Anyway.
Lewis doesn't have that kind of feelings for anyone, but he does have another relationship, which is with Freddie Preston. But I don't know what effect that would have.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So would you like to cause a scene, Maria?
Sure. So I would like to introduce a complication into Aiden's life. So I don't know if this needs to be a scene or we can just say
Could be a
that it
vignette.
happens. Yeah. But I think that if you accept the setback token, Sir, our dear headmaster, will run into Aiden on one of the times Aiden is returning back to the school after an assignation, whatever, with Dom, and possibly have stern words about mingling with the other team, possibly insinuating things about I don't know, just like conspiring to what's the word, to fix the tournament or something, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And do you want this to be just a vignette or?
It's up to you. If you want to do a scene, that's fine. or if you would just like want to know, I guess, what the outcome of it would be
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm fine treating this as just sort of a vignette. I think maybe
yeah.
Aiden probably, yeah, I think Aiden, not, yeah, I think Aiden, yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to think of how to phrase
Yeah,
this.
it's fine.
I think Aiden probably,
Would it help if I like made a concrete thing that Sir would say
sure, that might
or
help.
threaten? Like if I think I'm thinking the complication is that Aiden is going to be either confined to school grounds or essentially like in detention because Sir like saw you coming back from the like equipment shed and then walked in and was like, oh, what does it smell like in here? And has harsh words depend like about that, and you are going to be in detention, boarding school detention or something. Probation?
Yeah, I think that Aiden probably then says in the kind of most, I think, yeah, says, I was just cleaning out the shed, Mr. Thomas. And I think that's the thing right there.
Yeah.
I don't use sir. And I think I probably want to, if it's okay, to ask first, I think like he probably like puts an arm around me almost camaraderily, and then like just smashes a fist into my nose. And
so.
And says, I
Yeah.
expect you in my office, boy. And I think that
Yeah.
probably there is some corporal punishment here that we don't need to get into the details about it at
Yeah.
school.
I am okay with that if everyone else is okay. And I will give you the setback token, so you get a fight.
Cool.
And I have no setbacks left. I cannot complicate anyone's life any further.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
shall
sorry.
acquiesce to
I mean,
all
you
requests.
can, Maria. You can.
I know
is the
I
thing.
can.
That's just your passive state.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we've just hit 1:30, so we'll take our first break here. If we come back at 22, and we'll kick things off again. And yeah, when we get back as well, I'll have a quick chat and see what people fancy doing for an event, and then we'll finish off our remaining daily life scenes. So see you all shortly. So awesome. So I believe, if I've kept my tally right, we've had one vignette each from Aiden and Lawrence, and we've had Lewis's scene. So yeah, I was just thought I'd open. If anyone has an idea for another scene or vignette they would like to set, then go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to have a. I think it'd probably be appropriate to have a vignette with to meet Freddie Preston. He hasn't been brought in. but I'm not sure what it's about.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe someone can have a suggestion.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's
It could be something. It could be something at the upcoming event too. It doesn't have to stand alone.
yeah, I'm wondering it could just be maybe just like just a kind of vignette of like maybe they've met up somewhere like in town or something like that, and they're just kind of spending some time together in that way.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so I mean, the vignette's just like what we're seeing them doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like, hey, I'm pretty, and yeah, walking about the town and skipping rocks on a pond and comparing notes. A little bit of the masters at Saint Osana's and who's still there and who left, the fossils, and the new one, and maybe he makes some remark about Miss Thompson.
Yeah,
appreciative remark. He probably makes some appreciative remark about Miss Thompson, saying, "Oh, I see why you went back." And Lewis turns red. This is like, and disclaims that, but unconvincingly.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think that's nice. Awesome. Thank you very much.
So that'll because she's new.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is probably her second year or something like that.
No, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
Brought in when the previous music instructor, who was ancient, finally retired after way too many years. Okay, so that's my vignette.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Awesome. So yeah, Aiden or Lawrence, do either of you have an idea for a scene? And again, as I said, this can either be starring yourself or one of your connections, if you're more interested in that. Except for the glass. Just I'm not sure if
yeah, I've just been thinking through here.
Yeah, no worries.
Where is Shipton Academy in relation to our school?
It's probably not far away. It's like the next town over sort of thing.
Also, I think there's some voices coming over from your end, Brandon.
Okay, I'll mute. Yeah, I've got a little.
But sorry, what were you saying, David?
No, I was just I wasn't sure if I was just saying yes, if it's on the Shipton's on the next like town over, that sort of thing. Before that, I was just saying I wasn't sure if Maria was. I know just said that she'd had some. Her connection was unstable at the minute. But...
I am here for the moment.
Cool.
Can hear at least.
Good. Yeah, we can hear you, so that's fine.
Because I can't quite think of something for myself. But I think that I might. Yeah, I think I might bring in here because it's another character we haven't really seen much of, unless it was in the session I missed. I think that yeah, I think that so where does Lawrence run after that fight with Lewis?
I think yeah, he does run to the village. Or at least go on a like the school grounds, like maybe border the village. So he's like running the perimeter of the school grounds. Like actually going for, unfortunately, a cardio type run. Because unfortunately, that's who Lawrence is.
Yeah, and I think that as you're like running, I think that the Shipton boys have like a motor car that like, because they are overall a better, more I think well-funded school than us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're still a well-funded school, but I think that they actually have their own motor car.
Yeah, wow.
And I think that it is pulling up alongside you, and I am offering you a complication token here of, I think Penwick Kingsley leans over the side, and his as always, because you say he is an angelic bully, I think his golden curls, as always, perfectly frame his face. But it is
Yep, that's a
offset
complication.
by an almost equally beautiful sneer. And I think he looks at you and says Lawrence, isn't it? All you forget, what is our school's name?
Saint Osana's?
Yeah, all you Osana's boys have that telltale look of cowards.
Oh.
Get him, Lawrence.
Maybe that's why my brother ran away from the winning team to join up with you. I mean, that's your brother ran away from the winning team to join up with you lot.
I think, are they keeping like
yeah, they're keeping speed with you.
I think we're just gonna stop real suddenly and turn around and yell at the car. At least I'm not engaging in a foot race while I'm in a motor vehicle. If you think I'm a coward, come out and face me on your own 2 feet.
How tall are how tall is are Lawrence and Lewis?
How tall are we? I was imagining we're kind of like beanpole, or at least I'm not sure.
Sure, makes sense.
What Lewis thinks. Yeah, maybe more
tall and skinny,
height.
not more height than weight, not
cool.
heavy.
Okay, I was just curious.
Long and lanky.
Why were you curious?
Yeah, and that, because in that case, as you shout that, I think that the car kind of speeds up a bit and makes a turn to block your path. And Penwick steps out and gives you a grin. And I think that actually Penwick probably, if you're beanpoles, is actually not as tall at you. He probably is like smiling up at you, but he is definitely more solidly built than you. And he says, well, we're not running away. We're both on foot now, Lawrence. What are you gonna make of it?
Can I did you give me a setback?
Yeah.
Can I twist that to make it like the complicate is that Lawrence does not win this fight?
Sure.
Cool. I get another black eye, or at least no, I get one black eye. You can describe how this fight goes. Okay. Want.
Because if you have a particular thought for how you want this fight to go, feel free to bring it up here, Maria.
Well, who else is in the car?
I think it just the Shipton boys.
Okay. Is Freddie there too? This is after he had that hangout with Lewis.
Oh yeah, I think that if we really want to push this, I think that like Aiden probably not Aiden. Sorry, I was looking at myself. I think Penwick like knocks you to the ground and like gives you a couple kicks to the ribs before like Freddie drags him off you.
Oh,
yeah,
that would be.
Come on, Penwick. Yeah, that's too much, says Freddie. He's, cut it out. You won. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. And
I'll just like to just for you, Maria. I think he says you're right, and he picks you up and dusts you off, and he takes your face in one of his hands and draws in close. And I think it is one of those moments where you're just inches apart.
Truly hate that I'm being attacked in the best way possible.
You can let Lewis know that his friends at Shipton miss him. And then he like shoves you back. And the Shipton boys pile into the car. And I think probably if David's fine with that, I think probably Freddie is not happy with it, but the other Shipton boys are kind of hooting and patting Penwick on the back.
Yeah, and I think Freddie kind of will just lean over the back out the back window of the car as they're driving off, and just give kind of a one of those like apologetic grin in a way.
Yeah.
Well, not a grin, but you know what I mean, like a kind of
yeah, like the face.
Yeah, what can you do, sort of thing.
I think Lawrence had like hobbles back to Saint Osana's, then doesn't go to the nurse because don't want to let them know you've been in a fight.
Cool. And yeah, I think that's the scene there. So it's over to you, Maria, to make your last pick.
Oh, I don't know. How does scene? I've had like multiple scenes as Lawrence, I feel, and also as Sir Lennox Thomas.
Could always, we haven't really seen you have a real scene with like Cornelius off, like we've seen vignettes with him, but maybe if you wanted to do a scene that shows your daily life and incorporate Cornelius somehow, maybe.
Yeah, if David maybe could pick up
Yeah,
Cornelius.
yeah. No, I'm happy to play Cornelius. Sorry, I just had a hair stuck in my mouth. So yeah, no, go ahead.
It's okay. My audio is like y'all are coming a little bit robot-y, so I think we're having one of those fluctuations, but hopefully it holds.
No worries.
Yeah. What if this is a scene? Who am I? Lawrence like coming back into the common room looking a little bit worse for wear and like maybe runs into Cornelius there, or maybe it's our bi-weekly listen to jazz meeting. I'm not sure. Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I think Cornelius is kind of sorting through some records as you come in, and as you do, he kind of smiles at you, but then his sort of face changes as he sees what you look like, and he says, "Oh, Lawrence, are you okay? You're looking up through fright."
I think Lawrence, I just like lie on the floor and just say, play me something good, please. Something to take my mind off things.
Of course, and he'll kind of put a record on the gramophone, and then but then he'll come over to you and say, Are you sure you're okay? Do you want me to go and fetch Matron?"
No, Matron doesn't need to know. That's fine. This is a matter of honor.
Should I go and get the first aid kit or something?
I don't think anything's broken. I think it's just bruises. I'll be fine. I've had worse when I missed some of Aiden's last throws last time.
Well, if you're sure. And I think he'll kind of sit down on the floor next to you.
So, what do you think? Do you think we'll win this next one?
I think so. You've been playing really well, and so is the whole team. I'm sure you'll be able to give them a good licking.
Yeah. Do you think we can though? I mean, I think Lewis is mad at me again. And have you seen our captain recently? Looks like he fell on the wrong side of Sir.
Well, I mean, I suppose if people are off their condition, that's not ideal. But still, I believe in you. I think you've got what it takes.
Just one more game, right?
Exactly. Just one more to get through.
What do you think we're gonna do afterwards? After we're done here.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping to do to study maths and all that, but well, you know, see what comes of it.
Is it? Do you feel Do you feel like you have a plan for your life?
Not especially. I thought, study maths, go into accountancy, maybe get a nice little place down outside London.
Sounds like a plan.
What about you?
I don't know. I came up with part of a plan earlier today. But I bet everyone years back before the war thought they had plans too, and look where that got them. So maybe it's not even that useful to have a plan.
I suppose, though, I hardly think we'll see anything like that again.
I hope we don't, but on the other hand, maybe it was easier just getting told what to do. But I guess none of these jazz musicians listen to anything they're told to do anyway, so.
Well, I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're okay, Lawrence? You seem awfully down.
You think I ought to tell Aiden how I feel? Lois thinks I should just give up.
I don't know. I suppose if what's the worst that could happen? I mean, all you can do is say no, isn't it? And if you're already giving up, then I suppose it's maybe you should, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't be brave enough to do that if I were in your position.
Play me something surprising next, and maybe if the word yes is in the song, I'll go talk to Aiden.
Sure thing. And he'll shuffle through the records and put another one on the gramophone.
I just like the idea that it's just some song that just says no over and over. And Lawrence is like, well, that's sort of a double negative.
you know, that is very possible. Maybe it's just like, do you think we could fade out with whatever this music is that's playing?
Yeah.
Or is there?
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. That's cool.
No. There's some doo-wop that does that exact thing.
Or it's like, Cornelius, count how many no's there are. If it's even, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a no. You like maths, right?
Excellent. Cool. No worries. So that will bring us to the end of our day-to-day life thing. I forgot actually what I did mean to do was to check in, but we'll do that now anyway. We'll now be going into our final phase of this session, which is the event. So the event is as ever just sort of a um, um, you know, something going on that is going to draw together many of our characters. This can either be it's going to be like an official school event, or it could be you know, a covert party someone has arranged. But in general, it should allow as many of the characters and connections as possible to have sort of an excuse to get together.
I think this is a dance that's been sponsored by the school, but it's not restricted. But it's obviously it's not restricted to school, to school people. There are girls, there are members, people from other schools and such.
Yeah, does that sound cool to people? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. So yeah, awesome. No, that sounds good. So yeah, yeah. So this will be a kind of formal dance type setup. Yeah, there'll be you know, some boys from Shipton Academy, yeah, some girls from a couple of the local girls' schools as well. You know, it's all very formal. Everyone in sort of uniform and so on and so forth. But yeah, there will also, of course, be ample opportunity for people to get up to various mischief as well. So I think what we will do is we'll just start off with a quick kind of overview of what the scene looks like and how each of your sort of main characters comes onto the scene, and then we'll start just splitting out into whatever scenes we wish to have. There's no particular restriction here. So yeah, I think this is being held. We'll say it's being held in Saint Osana's in sort of the assembly hall, dining hall type area. It's got that the school at Saint Osana's is old. It's kind of or bits of it are sort of, you know, going back to Tudor sort of times. It's a big stone hall that even in the summer it still has that kind of slightly cool air to it. But you know, it's been decorated. There are sort of flowers around. All the chairs and tables have been moved to the sides of the hall. There is a you know, the sort of the school band is essentially playing music, which is primarily, you know, it's like, you know, ballroom dancing type stuff, lots of waltzes and so on and so forth. The again, as with all these sort of formal events, the masters are around in their gowns and mortarboards. There will be kind of some of the teachers from the other schools will be around as well, on kind of chaperone duties, as it were. But yeah, how do we see each of your characters make their entrance at this dance? And I'll start this time off with Lewis, if that's okay.
We see Lewis is on and off performing with the band, or when the band has a break, coming in to do piano. as you say, mostly waltzes, Tchaikovsky's Waltz of the Flowers, things like that. And, maybe a foxtrot or two, for the, it's all very, set piece and ordinary ballroom dances that people like. At one point, though, when he's not up on stage, he comes down to Lawrence, and he hands you a piece of paper that's all folded up, and he says, "Don't open this right now. But when I tell you, come up on stage, open it up, and announce what's on it. Can you give me that?"
What sort of a trick is this?
Any kind of trick you want. But it'll be better if you don't look. Or do what you want. Toss it in the fire. I don't care.
Well, okay. Then fine. Sure. Can't promise I won't look at it though.
Well, yes, go ahead. Spoil the surprise if you want. But
surprise. Just tell me, is it a good surprise or a bad surprise?
I swear, sometimes I don't. What do I bother? Says Lewis.
Lawrence is going to give the most innocent grin and stick it in like the lapel pocket of their suit.
So anyway, what the hell happened to you? Hello?
Hello, can you hear
There we go.
me?
Hear you now, yes.
Okay.
So he's like,
the last thing I heard was
he after when you turn towards him, he goes, "What the hell happened to you?" Or what the devil happened to you? Let's be period.
I don't know, maybe you should ask your friend Freddie about what happened. But
Freddie would never.
Freddie would never, but Freddie has friends that are not your friends. Anyway, they were all once your friends, weren't they? So I would talk to them. But it's no matter. We'll get them on the field anyway.
You mean the Shiptons did this to you?
No, they didn't do anything.
Bastards.
I tried to show them as good as I got, but I had just, come from boxing you and running a bit, and
it was Kingsley, wasn't it? Smug bastard.
A beautiful smug bastard, but I suppose he wouldn't have been your type. Anyway, I hope that we can all pull together and just show them that we're better than them.
It's a refreshing attitude coming from you.
Even some of us have some limits to what we'll take. Though I think he's like rubbing his ribs a little bit. It's like, though I think there should be a line on how serious people take this cricket rivalry.
I don't think that had anything I don't think you were getting a black eye had anything to do with Bally cricket.
Yeah, it probably had all to do with you. They miss you. Can't tell why, though. They should try growing up with you.
I got to get back on stage.
Have fun with your twinkling little fingers, big brother. Pat, pat.
I waggle my fingers at you.
And then I think like Lawrence, as you're leaving away, will just like touch where the mysterious folded up note is.
Awesome, thank you. And yeah, Aiden, how about you? How was Aiden making his entrance or at this dance?
Oh. I think Aiden probably isn't hugely enjoying himself. And I think he's kind of keeping off to the edge of the revelries. And I did kind of want to push a scene here since we're probably going to be wrapping up for this run. Since we are wrapping up for this run, I'm wondering if while Aiden is alone, if Lawrence wanted to make his approach, because of course he was just talking about if he should confess his feelings.
Yeah, you could do that. I was just Googling 1920s jazz lyrics to see if I could find a song that had yes or no's in it, but that's going to take way more work.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. They don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
got a double negative in it.
Got some swinging in it too, which is always cricket relevant, I'm sure. I think, yeah, maybe as Lewis's piano music starts back up, Lawrence will see Aiden in like at the side, will snatch a punch glass from a side table and walk over to where Aiden is, and then like extend the glass, wincing only a little bit. I know the last time I tried to hand you something to drink, you left it on a windowsill, but now we're at a party, so you have no excuse.
I think Aiden kind of just takes the glass from you, but is like probably more distracted by your probably a little bit out of surprise at seeing how hurt you are. I mean, Lawrence, I know you usually end practices injured, but I don't remember you being that injured.
This isn't a practice injury for once, though it's kind of you to notice. You seemed so much like a hard ass recently. I didn't think you would even, I thought you'd applaud the level of hurt I'm in, Captain.
It's not, I don't want you getting hurt, Lawrence. I'm trying to make us a better team.
You seem to be taking a rather roundabout way to that. I notice you're not looking so well off yourself.
I think, yeah, Aiden kind of gives a little bit of a chuckle and says something like, trouble, had a bit of trouble organizing the equipment. And it's a pretty firmly evasive answer. I don't think there's any chance that Lawrence takes that as a truth.
What's the matter? Was Dom not helpful enough with that?
Oh, Aiden says, no, Dom was very helpful with my the equipment. And it was afterwards with Sir.
I think Lawrence blushes a little at the innuendo or attempt to cover it up, and then kind of frowns a little bit when you mention Sir and says, yeah, I didn't mean to make light of your injuries if they are really bad injuries. Are you okay though? I've heard Sir can be harsh.
I'll be fine. And I put my hand on your shoulder, Lawrence, and I say, look, I know I've been hard on you, Lawrence, but it's important to me that all of the rest of the team, I'm going to be graduating next year, and I don't think I'm going to be sticking around. I thought maybe no, I'm going to be leaving. And I want to make certain that all of you are going to be able to get by without me.
Lawrence's eyes are fixated on the hand, on the shoulder. And then like, I think when Aiden says like all of you will be fine without me, I think like he brushes it off a little bit and says, the team will be fine as a team. We all know how to play cricket, at least, but what we really need is something to bring us together as a team. And if our captain spends all his time snogging a rival team member in the equipment shed and not being a team member with the rest of us, it makes us start to wonder if all we are is just equipment in another way. If all we are just toys on a cricket pitch. So if you really want to help us out, you have to see us as people too.
Oh man. I think that Aiden goes stony faced and says, you were the one Dom was talking to, wasn't he?
Oh no, my headphones just.
The kitchen window towards the fence.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
sorry, I
can't hear
realized I
you.
was
I can hear you.
saying that with my mute on.
What? Hold on. I think I'm having weird problems.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Cool.
What was the last thing Aiden said?
You were the one Dom was talking to. He goes stony faced and says, "You were the one Dom was talking
okay.
to, wasn't he?"
I talked to Dom at the fair. Yes. Does this have to do with why you were propositioning my brother?
That was a mistake. I shouldn't get involved with him, and I shouldn't get involved with you. I'm leaving next year, at the end of this year, and that's just going to hurt us both. And I like push my way past you and just like leave the dance.
I think Lawrence is going to shout after you. It'll hurt us in the future, but it'll be fun for now. And then down both drinks of unfortunately not spiked punch.
Awesome. And I think that's probably a good point to take our last break. So we'll take 5 minutes there and then come back in and see where we go next. So yeah, see you all in a few minutes. Yeah, awesome. I think as we cut away from that scene,
there's a last bit at the dance.
Yeah. I think Lewis, as you're just sort of coming off stage, sorry, I'm blanking on names.
Ready?
Yeah, Miss Thompson will be sort of stood just at the edge of the stage. She has a glass of punch in her hand, which she hands to you, and says, well done, Lewis. I know it's hardly stretching material that we've got you playing today, but you're doing excellently up on stage. How are you finding it?
Oh well, I'm happy to help out. It's that someone's got to play for the dance, and the band can't play the whole thing. It's not the Valse Brillante in A, but then again, what is? If you if it's all right, I'd like to do a little popular number that I've been asked to do.
And I think she'll she'll nod and say, "Of course, that will be something of a break. By all means." And she'll say, "I do. There was something I wanted to tell you. In fact, I've just got off the telephone this morning with an old friend of mine. I've managed to, and I will be offering you a setback token here as well. I will I have arranged for an audition. As I say, I have an old friend who works down at the Royal College of Music in London. I think you've got what it takes. He's agreed to hear you play. It's the she'll kind of say it's a few days' time, a little short notice, I'm afraid. Something came up. Words. It's you have to get obviously the train down to London. I can arrange tickets. It will mean I know you have this, and she'll kind of wave a hand dismissively. I know you have this cricket match coming up. I've managed to check, and we can get a train just after that's finished, if that would be all right with you.
An audition?
Yes, well, the audition will be the next day, but
yeah, of course, I yeah, I suppose so.
If you do well, they may be able to find you a space for next term in the new school year. If I said if you do well, and she'll kind of touch you on the arm gently. And I do think you've got what it takes. I do think you've got what it takes, Lewis.
Where's this again?
It's in London.
London.
And she'll kind of glance over to where sort of the headmaster is sort of stalking around and say, really, not to speak ill of Saint Osana's, but the music program here is hardly suited to someone with your talents. You'll find it a much more enriching environment there.
I imagine so. Well, that's a lot to think about. Thank you for your trouble in setting this up.
That's quite all right. As I say, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think you'd manage it. It's I think this would be a great opportunity for you, Lewis. But obviously, it's your choice.
No, if you think I've got a shot at it, I mean, I suppose I should try. Swallow sorry. Whatever you I'll give it my best, Miss Thompson.
Excellent. Glad to hear it, Lewis. Well, and thank you again for the performance here. It's been lovely. And she'll kind of smile and wander off back into back to sort of doing like rounds of the hall. Awesome. So just check in. I have a potential idea for just a quick scene with Aiden sort of immediately after leaving the hall, if you want to do that. Sure. But otherwise, yeah, if anyone has any ideas, yeah, no, sure. I think as Aiden comes out of the hall, Timothy, Valentine's brother, is out there smoking a cigarette, which he kind of quickly hides behind his back as you come out. And says, sorry, Aiden. If you wouldn't mind, not he waves a cigarette around, not telling anyone.
Oh, I don't mind, Mr. Roberts.
Good. He'll sort of take a long time and say, it's I just found it all a bit much in there. Are you doing all right? I heard you got into a spot of trouble with Mr. Mr. Thomas the other day. It was nothing, Mr. Roberts. Just Sir preparing us for the world, isn't it? And I kind of give a bit of a tight grin there. It's certainly not always like this, but yes, it can be pretty tough out there at times. And he'll kind of give half a grin, and I think he'll actually offer you a cigarette. His hand is trembling slightly as he does.
I think Aiden actually laughs and says, "Oh, I tried one the other day, and I couldn't stop coughing for an hour. So I'm no, I'm fine."
Probably for the best. It's a damn filthy habit, but well, it helps sometimes. And he'll kind of light another cigarette for himself. Well, all the I hope you've been able to focus on some other things other than this match. I know it's a lot of pressure, especially for the captain, but you've done a damn fine show of getting this far.
Yeah, and I think Aiden looks down at the ground, stuffs the toe of his shoe in the dirt, and I thank you, Mr. Roberts. I think you're probably too good for this school.
I think most people are, to be honest, old chap. But well, they were willing to take me in where some others wouldn't, and can't fault the loyalty, at least, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think I just I just kind of hesitate for a moment, but then just like give him a hug. Like I just like throw my arms around him, tight embrace hug, and yeah, how does he respond?
Yeah, I think he kind of is a little kind of shocked, but does kind of
The awkward, like kind of semi hug.
I was going to say, sort of pat you on the shoulder, exactly.
Yeah.
Sort of, there, old chap.
I'll miss you, Mr. Roberts, when I'm gone.
You too, Aiden. But I'm sure you'll be welcome wherever you end up.
Yeah, and I think that I just kind of let go of the hug, and I'll see you on the pitch, Mr. Roberts. And I go back to the dorms, and I think that's maybe where the scene ends.
Yeah, that sounds good. Awesome. Cool. So, Lawrence, I'll come back around to you. Is there any scenes that you wanted to try? And obviously, as well, if anyone else has any things they want to get done with one of their connections and stuff as well, that's also cool. But yeah, just thought I'd check back in with yourself first.
I want to know what's in this mysterious piece of paper. I don't know if it would be more interesting for that reveal to happen on stage, or if Lawrence opening that piece of paper up in a fit of pique after having just yelled that Aiden would also work.
You're muted, Brandon.
Lewis, either one would work. So you see Lewis is coming back on stage, and is singing on the keyboard, and he takes the book of like, popular waltzes and things like that, and he closes it, and then he opens up the keyboard again and sits his hands on the keys and looks over in your direction.
I think Lawrence was like, I think still looking a little bit heated from the conversation, and I think there's just like this like, well, whatever kind of shrug, and he will reach into the pocket and like start making his way to the stage.
Okay, so there's probably a little lull. People are wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
For a moment, it's like, Lewis is sitting there waiting, looking at you. Little, he's kind of biting his bottom lip, looking at you sideways.
Lawrence is gonna like stop at the piano and be like, "Is this when you want me to do it?"
Uh-huh.
All right. Do I have to do it in front of everyone?
I think you should.
I don't know, but guess no one here that really matters to me. So he'll take it out. What's on it?
It says, you're the one who knows about these things. I want you to introduce this song properly. And it says it's just written in big, big cursive hand, Stardust.
Cool. I think like the expression on Lawrence's face just completely changes. Like there's like disbelief, and then just like a very bright sort of smile, and he'll pat your back or shoulder in like a "I didn't know you had it in you" sort of way before
Shrug. Lewis gives a little, little shrug. Come on, go ahead.
And then,
tell them all about it.
Yeah, I don't know if microphones are a thing in the 20s. They probably are. I don't know what exists. And Lawrence is gonna go up to one, kind of clear his throat, and introduce the song with a lot of enthusiasm. I don't really know how to introduce Stardust, but Lawrence knows how to introduce Stardust, and it's just gonna be like this gushing review and with like background, like maybe a little extra nerdiness thrown in because it's the first time Lawrence gets to like talk about this in front of lots of people, but eventually gets to the meat of the thing and just says, and it's, or to the whatever the saying is, and he's just like, and it's Louis Gregory on piano playing Stardust.
And Lewis launches into a very straightforward but jazzy rendition of Stardust. Da 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 bum ba da 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 ba da 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 da. A little couple of little flourishes, nothing, actually the flourishes are some of the best part because it's like compared to Chopin, these little right hand runs, with the little Graceland. It's not that hard, and it's a straightforward song, and you can hear him singing it. I mean, he's not singing it loud enough for the dance, but you can hear him singing. Sometimes I wonder through the lonely nights of dreaming of a song. It haunts my memories, and I am once again with you.
I think.
And, because it's songs about remembering somebody else and during an idyllic time that it doesn't exist anymore.
Yep.
Hoagie Carmichael's brilliant, beautiful lyrics. And just the sweetness of the song as people are kind of slow dancing to it.
Yeah, and I think there's just like a hard swallow from Lawrence as he's like looking out at the crowd, being like kind of like scanning the crowd, wishing there was someone he could wink at, but alas, he yelled at that person, and also hasn't told them how he feels yet. It's fine.
So that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I think that's also good enough for me.
Awesome. So I just want to check in if there are any other scenes people would like to frame up or would like to have happen within the context of this event or around the edges of it.
I have thoughts, but I feel like I'd need another half a dozen like complication tokens, so I don't want to necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, don't let the lack of mechanical things. If you want to kind of, if you do want to, if you have anything else, then we can still kind of negotiate it out.
I mean, I think that would probably be. I think that my thoughts are probably a bit too big, and I think that actually is a good point to end the session there.
Yeah, sure thing. No, that's if people are happy with that, then yeah, I would say yeah, we'll probably leave the session there in that case, and we'll pick up next time with our pre-match scenes.
Oh, do we have another session still?
Yes, yeah, that's right. We've got our we'll do the final match next week, I think, if people are still okay for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think we discussed that the other week. Sorry, I didn't actually sum that up in chat, I don't think, but yeah, we will be playing
right,
it.
Right.
If everyone can, if people are cool with that, then we'll
Sure.
have our final match next time. Yeah, you know, we'll do our pre-match scenes and all that as well next time. But like I said, yeah, if people are happy leaving it there, then we can do so. That's cool. I don't think there are any Kappa scenes I wanted to do particularly. But like I said, if anyone does have any last moments I'd like to touch on, that's perfectly cool. We've still got time left.
I think that I will just kind of end on a moment, not a full scene, is that we see Penwick there, like at the edge of the crowd, like watching the two of you on stage, and we can see that he only has eyes for Lewis, based on what was described here.
Awesome. Cool. So if everyone's cool with that, then we will leave things there for this evening. So thank you very much, everyone. It has been another good fun session. I'm going to stop our recording now.